Good evening, children. Welcome to 6th standard online chemistry class. Today, we are going to discuss the remaining part of lesson 4 in chemistry. So far, we have discussed the properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Right, children? The three states of matter. So, the first topic is, do molecules remain motionless in matter? Does the molecule remain motionless in matter? It is believed that the in solids the molecules are tightly held, so they do not move from their place, but they keep on vibrating when they get energy. Okay, so they are as the temperature get increased, their vibration will be more. Okay, children, as they gain energy they vibrate more when the temperature is increased. But in the case of solids or liquids, the molecules are loosely held, so they can move far away from each other. As the temperature rises, the molecule move apart and less in liquid but more in a gas. So we can't see, as we can't see the molecules moving in the case of molecules, even by the help of microscope we can't see their motion also. But Brownian movement, okay, there is a concept called Brownian movement. This Brownian movement explains us or helps us to believe that the molecules are in motion. Okay, this Brownian movement helps us to believe that molecules are in motion. Let us discuss what is a Brownian motion.
Of fine particles suspended in a gas or a liquid is called Brownian movement. It was discovered in the year 1827 by the botanist Robert Brown and is named after him. For example, let us observe a beam of sunlight entering a dark room. You will find that the dust particles are constantly moving in a haphazard manner. What makes dust particles move continuously in air? You already know that air is a mixture of gases, and gas molecules are always in a state of free random movement. These molecules hit the dust particles from all directions and make them move in an irregular manner. Similarly, if pollen grains are placed in water, they do not remain at rest but move about continuously and randomly. This is also an example of Brownian movement.
Now, this action of heat on matter. So, what are the action of heat on matter? The action of heat on matter may result in the following changes. The first one is it may expand. So, expansion is the one. Okay. Then change in state. Then chemical change. So, let us see how this changes occurs. Okay, matter expands on being heated. We all know that we have already discussed solid, liquids and gases expand on being heated, isn't it? So, and also contracts on being cooled. So, but there is an interesting concept that water behaves differently when cooled below 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, when cooled below 4 degrees Celsius, water behaves differently. See, when we cool, actually the molecules will contract to each other, right? But water, no, when it cooled below 4 degrees Celsius, it expands. That's why ice occupies more space than water. You know this, isn't it? In ice cubes, tray and all, the ice cube will occupy the entire space. But when it is converted into water, it will take only less amount compared with the ice cube. So that's why water behaves differently. You will be reading about this later in your higher classes. Is it clear, children? Yes. Now change in state. How does this change in state occurs? Change in state occurs um, when heated, the molecules in solid gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. As I said, they gain energy and they vibrate more vigorously. And when heated sufficiently, the molecules gain enough energy to overcome intermolecular attraction and move far apart. So when you heat sufficiently, when heat is supplied sufficiently, the molecules overcome the intermolecular attraction. That is, they overcome the cohesion force. The force between the molecules, no, that is the cohesion force. They overcome this cohesion force and they move apart. That's what they are becoming liquid. Okay, so the intermolecular substance, cohesion is less, so they become liquids. So we know that on solids, when they are heated, what it will become? It will become liquid, isn't it? Right, children? Take the case of water. On heating the water, take the case of water in as ice cubes, that is solid, they are heated, they become water. Am I right, children? So this process, no, the solids becoming not only water or ice cube, even all the solids will become approximately all the solids will become liquids on heating. So that process is called melting. What is the process is called? Melting. Do you understand, children? So what is melting? Solids becoming liquid. Solids becoming liquid is called melting. Okay, how this is possible? This is possible because of heat. Do you understand? Yes. So how this melting occurs? The molecules are very closely packed with each other. This cohesion force between the molecules are overcome, are broken by the supply of heat energy. That's why they are becoming liquid. They understood, and the process name is known as melting. The temperature at which the solid converted or the solid melts, that temperature is called to be melting point of the solid. Melting point of the solid. Okay, children. Okay, similarly, when liquid is heated, the molecules gain energy and move more vigorously. Move more vigorously. See. So the liquids gain energy and moves more vigorously. Already there is a space between the intermolecular space between the molecules, right? So they move far away from each other and thus becoming gases. Okay, thus becoming gases. Do you understand, children, what I say? The molecules move vigorously and they move far away from each other, forming gases, and the process of conversion of liquids into vapors, that is gaseous form, is called as vaporization or evaporation. Vaporization or evaporation. Okay, children, vaporization, or this can also be called as evaporation. Okay, children, they understood what is vaporization? This you might have studied in your lower classes. So as the temperature reaches a certain point, the liquid begins to boil. Okay, evaporation takes place as slowly the temperature is raised. At a particular temperature, the liquid begins to boil. At that temperature at which the liquid begins to boil, no, that temperature is known as boiling point of the liquid. Boiling point of the liquid. Similarly, when it is cooled, no, when it is cooled down, when the gases are cooled down, the molecules will come closer to each other. That is, the cohesion increases. Okay, cohesion increases. So the gases are converted back into liquid, and this process is called condensation. You know, the formation of clouds. Okay, this condensation, evaporation and condensation process plays a major role. This condensation is also called as liquefaction. Okay, liquefaction. What is it called as? Liquefaction. LIQUEFACTION. UEFACTION, liquefaction. Do you understood, children? So this condensation's other name is liquefaction, gases converting into liquid. So here the cohesion increases. As the temperature cohesion increases, so molecules come closer to each other. Do you understood this, children? So now we are going to see another change of state, which is called as sublimation. In sublimation, the solids will become vapors. Okay, the solids will become vapors without being converted into liquids. Directly it will become vapors. It will not become water. This liquid. Okay, such conversion is called as sublimation. What it is called as? Sublimation. Okay, sublimation. Do you understood this sublimation under children? The conversion of solids directly into gases is called sublimation. And this solid, no, the solid does, and sometimes this may be interchanged. Okay, so some solids when heated they will become gases, and some gases on cooling they will become solids. So the solid thus obtained by this process is called a sublimate. What it is called as? Sublimate. Is it clear, children? Ammonium chloride, camphor, naphthalene, the chemical substance in mothballs. You know, all know mothballs, no? What is the chemical called? Naphthalene. And iodine are some of the common substances that are sublimes. So here is an experiment to explain this sublimation process. Heat some iodine or solid sodium ammonia, solid ammonium chloride in a dry test tube. So take some iodine or solid ammonium chloride in a dry test tube. And it should be heated, and the solid vaporizes. See, we are taking the solid now. The solid vaporizes. Look at the vapors. The vaporizes without melting. Without melting, it will vaporize. The camphor directly solidified in the colder part. That is, in the colder part of this part is not heated. This part of the test tube is not heated. No, in that colder part, the gases will directly solidified. Okay, that is will become solid. Okay, so this is a simple experiment for sublimation. See, camphor we are often using in our houses, no? Yes. On burning the camphor, it will not become liquid. It will become directly gases. Right, children? So that is sublimation. Do you understood sublimation? Yes. Hope you have understood today's class very well, children. Complete your classwork and report in the group without fail. Also, I hope you received your timetable. So, keep preparing for your upcoming exams well, children. Thank you. Meet you again.